The frustration that Jimmy displayed. Cornpop. I'm not going to read the rest of it. Without me asking for it.
Behold, pale horse. I'd pay $5 to see Jimmy Dore body slam a disagreeable guest. Just saying. LOL.
What the fuck?
So, you remember this? You remember the 51 CIA spies who said that Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation? Well, they're back at it. 741 of the national security leaders endorsed Kamala Harris for president. This is from the National Security Leaders for America. America's national security requires a serious and capable commander-in-chief. That's why 741 national security leaders proudly endorsed Kamala Harris for president of the United States. That's not a good thing. As Glenn Greenwald says, more than 36 leaders of the CIA, along with the NSA and Pentagon officials, unite to endorse Kamala, just as they united to support Hillary and spread the 2020 lie that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation. If I were Dick Cheney, I would also endorse Kamala. What I said, this is actually a bad sign. It means that the war machine backs Kamala Harris. First Dick Cheney and now the CIA are on board with Kamala. I can't believe that Americans think these are reasons to vote for someone instead of reasons to vote against them. Yes. It is mind-blowing to me. More than 700, they call, I want to read this to you. More than 700 high-ranking national security officials have endorsed Democratic candidate Vice President Harris in her run for the White House, with some leaders, you mean spies and liars? With some of our top liars and warmongers expressing concerns about President Trump's, quote, scary authoritarian streak. Wow, I guess these people have a friendly authoritarian streak as opposed to a scary one. Vice President Harris has all the leadership qualities needed to be. She can't talk her way. It's unbelievable. They just make this stuff up. She has all the leadership qualities needed to be a strong commander-in-chief. She's prepared. She's strategic. She understands all sides of an issue, said Rear Admiral Michael Smith, who's in line to get a job at a weapons manufacturer, if he says that. We saw as much during the debate. Of course you saw as much during the debate. You were feeding her every line she said, just to make sure. As we've seen for nearly a decade, however, former President Trump has none of those qualities. Well, he didn't start a war. He's promising to end the Ukraine war. That's what they don't like. That's the part they don't like. And he has a scary authoritarian streak. Again, unlike you, who has a friendly authoritarian streak. The letter endorsing Harris consists of 741 former high-ranking national liars and warmongers, including 233 general and flag officers. Can you still say that? Among those 741 officials are 15 four-star generals, 10 former cabinet secretaries, and 10 service secretaries, as well as leaders. So do you see what's happening? The uniparty's coming together around Kamala Harris, and Trump, who's just a little bit of a populist. You see what they're doing. That's what this is. Trump's just a little bit of a populist, and they can't have that little bit. We do not agree on everything, but we all adhere to two fundamental principles: invading smaller, weaker countries and stealing their natural resources, and lying to the American people to get us to go along with it. Oh, that's not it. First, we believe America's national security requires a serious and capable commander-in-chief, like Dick Cheney and George W. Bumbling Bush. Second, we believe American democracy is invaluable. You mean like someone like, You mean like someone like Demented Joe, who everyone knew was demented when he was running for president in 2020? Each generation has a responsibility to defend it. That is why we, the underside, proudly endorse Kamala Harris to be the next president of the United States. Holy F. The signatories praise Harris as the more diplomatic and realistic. She's the bigger warmonger. That's why they like her. She's the bigger warmonger. And she's easier to control. That's why they're endorsing her. She's easier to control. They call Trump impulsive and ill-informed. Yeah, because he wouldn't do wars. We wanted him to do Syria. He wouldn't do it as like we wanted. We wanted him to do Ukraine. He wouldn't do it the way we wanted. The letter cites Trump's relationship with Chinese President Xi Jinping, Russian President Vladimir Putin. Yeah, you should be at each other's throats always, trying to threaten nuclear war. That's what these people like. They don't want a leader to get along with other leaders of nuclear powers. Our endorsement of Vice President Harris is an endorsement of war. I'm sorry, of freedom and an act of patriotism. It is the exact opposite of an act of patriotism. It is what's the word I'm looking for? It's a betrayal of our country. It is an endorsement of democratic ideals. Oh, you mean the woman who didn't get one vote? And they threw out 14 million votes in the primary and did a silent coup on Joe Biden. Of competence and relentless optimism. Okay, this is, oh my God. This endorsement comes after more than 100 former GOP. So this is the uniparty. This is the party that opposes Trump. Because Trump, when he ran the first time, said the Iraq war was a mistake and we should get out of the Middle East and put that money back in America. And he's promising to end the Ukraine war. They can't have this. That's what this is about. The letter cited Trump's demonstrated chaotic and unethical behavior, as you know, as opposed to the ethical behavior of all the war criminals. I can't even. Okay, so there you go. Over to Steph.
You know, Jimmy, the propaganda is really working on these people.
That's propaganda.
I did have lunch today.
That's called propaganda.
With a friend, and let's call my friend Alice. Alice was wearing her favorite baseball cap, and it had Kamala on it.
Oh my God! Right in your fucking face.
And she, you know, she doesn't really know who I'm voting for. And ultimately, it was with a straight face. She has the morals that I'm looking for.
The morals.
The morals.
The morals.
The morals. And I just went, well, that's the game that they've been using, Jimmy. This is the whole
That's
propaganda
the only game. Yeah.
This is like
Joe Biden has
she's
morals.
positive, and she says,
So
I
what
just
kind of
can't let him
what kind
win.
what kind of a moral person funds a genocide? Did you ask her that question?
Jimmy,
What kind of morals where does that come from?
Jimmy, I don't even want to know the answer.
Where do you get the morals to fund a literal genocide? Because that's what she's doing. And she's vowed to keep doing it. And so you don't. So that's the beauty of Americans who are propagandized. They don't know they're propagandized. That's how you know it's working.
You know, I wasn't equipped for the conversation today. That's not what I went for the conversation. And so, like, so what I did is I just listened. So I wanted to know, why do you have this point of view? Like, let me get a little clarity so the next time we meet, I can have a little bit more ammunition. And it's like I said, she didn't get any votes. She didn't get any votes the first time. Why is that? She doesn't have a policy, you know, and Alice was stuck on the position, not him. Just not him.
Who was?
Alice is saying not Trump. She's like, I can't, it just can't be him.
Yes.
That's it. She
That's
doesn't
it.
really know his
But and
positions.
if it wasn't Trump, it would be DeSantis. And if it wasn't DeSantis, it would be Rubio. And they would make whoever they'd have to do. But by the way, they wouldn't do that to DeSantis. They wouldn't do that because they're going to go along with the wars. Why do you think they're doing that? Do you ever ask the question about why do you think they gave him his own television show for 10 years? Why do you think his kids are best friends with the Clintons? Why do you think they all went to each other's weddings? Why do you think they all loved him before?
My friend Alice knows that the Clintons are the reason that he ran for president. Now, she knows this.
That's right.
But that doesn't, it's like, well, what did you think? Do you think the Democrats? So the Democrats don't represent what I want. The Republicans, I don't know what they represent. And we don't really know for sure if Trump became president again, that he would actually deliver on his promises. But they're all for genocide.
So come to me.
Back to Jimmy.